And welcome again to the morning catch up. It is with SSH, and today we have another exciting episode. Today we are speaking to Masi Heshu. Masi Heshu is a provincial coordinator for SSH South Africa, and he's also part of the Social Employment Fund. With all of the beautiful stuff that is going on with SSH, we would like to share a moment with Masi. Hello, Masi. How are you?
Hey, Finch, I'm good. How are you?
Good to hear your voice. How are you and where are you at this moment?
At this moment, I'm in East London.
Okay.
I'm in East London in the Eastern Cape, and yeah, it's just been quite a busy day this side.
I can feel that. So basically, Marcy, you are the provincial coordinator for the Eastern Cape. Is that correct?
True, true, yes. I've been with Assetich for some time now.
Yes. And tell us more about that. What does it mean to be, firstly, before this, tell us a little bit more about Masikole. Who is Masikole? And what does it mean to be a provincial coordinator for Social Employment Fund?
All right. So Masikole Heshu is from the Eastern Cape. Mostly he's an artist, a Rhodes graduate at the same time. And so now I'm a provincial coordinator in the Eastern Cape. Started well in the Western Cape, and so I moved to the Eastern Cape to still continue with the lovely work that Assetich has been doing throughout surf as well. So now I'm in this side. I'm continuing with the wonderful work that Assetich continues to do in this side, Finch.
That is amazing stuff. That's amazing stuff. And what kind of projects then are you working on, or have you worked on in terms of, the projects that you do as a provincial coordinator?
So what happens is that because what we're doing now, instead of just trying to rebuild from what we've done before in SEF 2, so what we have now, we have quite a few organizations that we work with in the Eastern Cape, from Bizana to Mthatha, East London, King Williamstown, Hawksback, Flagstaff, Gqeberha, Makhanda, Cook House, Willemore, and quite a lot of spaces. So what we're doing now is continuing to rebuild from what we've been doing since Self 2. So what we started with is the activation in terms of uh, which spaces our facilitators, should I say, participants are working in terms of schools, in terms of when it comes to their in-school and after-school program, and what material do they use when they work with the schools, especially starting from the ECDCs. So we've been doing that now and trying to collect as much material as we can to bring to schools, which is our after and in-school program that we do on the side, which we do under SEF, under different organizations who are part of the consortium. And also on the other side, we have the Nelson Mandela Children's Project, which works in different schools and focuses mostly on girl power, boy joy. And we look at GBV and the impact of GBV and corporal punishments in school. So we have our facilitators working in school, and we have them as well who came up with a very beautiful play that encouraged more active learning and
Mm.
engagement with the material as well. So what the cast did is that they toured around Makanda, East London, and King Williamstown in showcasing the production, which is very unique in its own form because it was a production that is very unique in terms of being careful in terms of the material that is being presented to kids, especially looking at GBV. So what the
Mm.
cast did in that they included quite a lot of music and humoric moments, that later on, that had the learners having to ask back in terms and to refer back to the
Mm.
material. And so far with that, it has been quite a great experience, which became more successful in a way that other schools now and other places are wanting the show to just go in those spaces. And also, even the cast is prepared to take it far in terms of their own and try to see how
Mm.
far they can go with the production. So we have that as well with the Nelson Mandela Children's Projects, Your Children Project that we've been doing here in the
Wow.
Eastern Cape.
It
But
sounds, it's, yeah.
hey, no,
Say
no, it's
again.
okay. I think I've said more than
Well, you know what? I do definitely think we want to hear more. We want to hear more, and definitely want to hear more about this impact. I mean, looking at our country at this current moment with the rise of GBV and domestic violence, and then how that impacts our children. I think we definitely want to go more into that. But for now, we're going to take a short break. Marcy, please stay with us. We're just going to take a short break, and then we're going to continue.
Hey, Thirst. Can I try out a few Coke
okay,
Summer sound
cool.
effects on
Now.
you? Cool. You okay with this? And this? And what about this? Ha! Gotcha there, Thirst. That wasn't sound effects. That was a Coke. I'm no longer thirsty. You're so out of here. Coca-Cola. Open happiness.
And we're back. We are talking to Masi Heshu. He is the provincial coordinator from the Eastern Cape, also working with the Social Employment Fund in conjunction with ASITEJ, South Africa, and the IDC. Masi, you were talking earlier before we went to the break. You were talking about GBV, and you were talking about the cast creating these plays and these productions. What does it really look like then when you are in the school? How do the children react? I mean, you touched on that, but I want us to go really deep into talking about the reaction that the children present when they see all of these situations.
Um, Yo, Finch, I'd like to take it as back where now with the cast having to present the work, not for the kids first, for even us as coordinators to watch and other experts of theater to watch the production before it goes to schools. And it's amazing to see the engagement of the cast with the material and them having to take feedback and having to present it to school. So with that experience as well came in quite a lot of questions in the process of building, which the cast was ready for in terms of presenting into schools. So when that moment came, the reaction from the kids, I would say, because what the cast planned is that in the beginning, how do we create a very inviting space for the children? So it means that they start using games and icebreakers, to let them play at the same time before the production starts. So the cast did that. And after that, now the audience sat down and they were more engaging with the material from start to end. And after that came a Q&A with the kids because that became more important in terms of having to hear what the kids were saying. So now that in that came that moment where now the kids are really engaging with the material where there are a lot of songs that carried quite a lot of information and lessons in them that the kids were listening to in terms of having to engage with the material. And there were moments where they started to laugh. There were moments where I was simply watching them, they were laughing, which I know that laughter comes from a unique space and sometimes of uncomfortability at the same time. And having to watch them on the side, having to engage with the material and saying things in terms of stopping some actions, they'd be like, you don't do that, And then after the kids started to engage with the material in terms of responding in terms of what did they learn from it, what did they see in it, what things worked and what could have worked more, and what moments could have been changed, and how is help possible for people who've been impacted by GBV. And the learners were engaging with that and having to speak out because the cast called the play Upond, or the voice of the voiceless. Now, the cast allowed the kids now to be able to speak out and
Mm.
to speak about what they see and to speak about the kind of solutions that are there and what is more important. And I think what I've came up with it is when one said that it is time for us not to keep quiet about these issues. We need to speak about them
Yeah,
because
yeah,
the most easiest thing to do is to be silent, but
yeah.
it needs to be twice as easier for us to speak up about these issues than to be silent. So with such engagement, it created quite a beautiful space where the kids got to watch a production and speak to it, not to just watch and have an experience and then leave. So I hope that answers you, Finch.
Definitely. Without a doubt, I mean, the impact that you guys are doing as coordinators, in conjunction with ACTED and the Nelson Mandela Foundation is very, very, very important. And I doubt, that, work like this will go unheard. And I really think that the impact, as much as the children might laugh, but I think 10 years or 20 years from now, they'll go back and think of this situation and go back and think, hey, I remember, this play, this production that happened. I remember the lessons that I learned. So it's really quite good. Marcy, I want us to kind of conclude in the last two questions. In terms of also the Social Employment Fund in Eastern Cape, somebody who's in Eastern Cape at the moment, is there a chance for them to kind of work with you? How does it work for somebody who wants to join, this program that you have? How do they become part of the SAFE program, for example?
All right. Yes. What is happening with the Social Employment Fund now is that we had our first list of, the people who got accepted to be part of the Social Employment Fund 3. And what is happening now, we just finalized the contracting of participant and having to link them to the system as well. And for people who want to join, is that because there's different organizations along your in every in different spaces in the Eastern Cape. So there are organizations that are there that are functioning under the Social Employment Fund. I guess if one wants to join, just locate your environment in where you are and get to understand, or even leave a message or an email to me in terms of the location that the person is in and wants to join, the Social Employment Fund, so that I can find an organization in the space and that person can be able to learn more first,
Mm.
about what are these organizations do under the Social Employment Fund in terms of their programs and projects as well, and to see the type of spaces that this organization works in first. And
Mm.
also, I encourage people who wants to join in to actually pay for Architect's membership fee, which
Mhm.
is something that is important, that gets a person to understand more now widely in terms of how the work comes along, with Architect as well. So, in concluding, I say it's those two things that are more important before one gets to join in when it comes to the Social Employment Fund, to do a bit of background check and see the work that has been done, and so that one can actually see what they can fit in into the space, and then we can speak.
And as you said, please kindly share your contact details, Marcy, so we can know.
So my email address is masikole@acetet.org.za. And then if someone wants to leave me a message, you can just do it in 084 310 7948. You can just text and send me a WhatsApp. I don't usually answer calls in that number. It's only for WhatsApp only.
Amazing, amazing, and I think definitely there will be some calls, especially from these young, very potential creators, facilitators who are working with children, but just don't know how to connect, especially with Acid Edge. Last question for us is, what other projects then maybe that you are planning to do? Looking at the fact that we are about to close the year, 4 months away. What kind of projects then maybe is Masikole himself, planning to do? Or is it just, focusing on this beautiful campaign of the Girl Power and Seth?
So we've been fortunate to have quite a few of our organization from SURF doing some projects on the side. So I know there's a Makanda Drama Development Festival that is coming up with most of our schools that we work with will be showcasing their productions there. There will be some of the guys who will be the kids who are doing the girl power production who will be able to showcase their production in that comment. Which is a space where kids now get to be in a theater space with, the theater equipment being there at Rhodes, where they will have that theater experience. So we have that coming. And also, there's a heritage program coming up
Mhm.
later this year to make sure that, some of our organization for surf get to celebrate and make sure that they preserve in transmitting the same heritage to the young kids in the Eastern Cape. There's that coming from Bizana and Mtata, including Makanda as well. So there's that coming up as well, and we also have the Best Foot Forward organization in the Eastern Cape
Mm.
having to do Madam President Evelyn now at the Rhodes Box Theatre, which most of our participants and their children, their learners that they work with in school, they'll be showcasing the production that they've been doing for this year there, which is lovely that I can't wait to see all of this.
Uh,
And just to conclude the year with quite a lot of training for those organizations around who need more training outside of that. But yeah, Finch, that's all I can say now. That's what we have for the rest of the year.
Oh, that's great stuff. That's absolutely great stuff. And I think thank you so much for coming to the show. Thank you so much for also just educating us and inspiring us, especially when it comes to all of these concepts and all of these issues that are very important in South Africa. So, last thing, before you go, Masi, we want to ask you, what is your favorite song? We're going to choose your favorite song, and that is the song that is going to lead us out. Thank you so much for everybody who has been listening. Marcy, what is your favorite song?
So far I've been listening to Msaki. It's
Msaki.
Sela. So
Say
yeah.
that. There we go. We're gonna definitely link out with Msaki Sela. That was Masipole Heshu. He's the professional coordinator for the Eastern Cape, working with the Social Employment Fund as well as the IDC in partnership with, as I say, South Africa. Thank you so much, Masi, and have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you so much, Vince. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Smiling at the moon, tripping over bass drums, caressing to the sun, bets and color pace. Yeah, little coons all are walking with the bass line. Dr. King Howie said I was smiling at the moon, tripping over bass drums, caressing to the sun, bets and color pace. Yeah, little coons all are walking with the bass line. Dr. King Howie, my world is gonna end, oh woe is me. Fell off a go-kart and I grazed my knees, and then I got chased by a swarm of bees. We're trying to build